Hey, I'm Jason Harrell.
And I'm Justin Boyd.
And let's freaking do this.
Welcome to Let's Freaking Do This. This is our brand new podcast, and we are here today to explain to you who we are, what this podcast is, and what we hope it will be, and why you should check us out. So first off, let's introduce ourselves. I'm going to go to Jason. Jason, tell us who you are.
Who am I? What a question. So I am a longtime musician. I've been a musician since I was 9 years old. I tried to do this for a living in my younger days, and then I sort of went the straight way and got a 9-to-5 job, and have been doing that for a long time. Over the last few years, though, I've started doing music again, getting in. I play fiddle, and I'm a songwriter, and I've been connecting with some folks through the socials, and have been playing some shows with some folks that I'd like to have more conversations with. And I think that's where we're at.
Okay. Well, my name is Justin Boyd. I am not a musician at all. I'm a podcaster. So if you like this podcast, I have another podcast called The Watchers in the Basement, where we talk about superheroes and all that kind of good stuff. So please check that out. But I am I was a journalist in college. So I've kind of written about some musicians, but mostly about sports and stuff. So my musical understanding really comes from Jason. We've known each other for a long time. I mean, honestly, it's we've known each other for I don't know, since we were in kindergarten or first grade. So we're talking 35 plus years.
19 or 20 years. 19 or 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously the math that we learned in school was top notch. We went to the best schools. We're Ivy League grads, and we're starting a podcast. No, but seriously, we know each other for a long time, and music has always kind of been a common denominator, whether it be, Jason always playing it or me just always having a love for it. And we always talked about wanting to do something like this, a podcast. And I think, in high school, we were always inspired. We were inspired by Howard Stern and his show. Jason, think about that. How often did we talk about wanting to do something like this?
So I was thinking about this the other day. I think we probably were fans of Howard Stern probably before, when we were probably too young for it to be appropriate for us to be fans of Howard Stern. But we always thought we were hilarious. That's the main thing. Yeah, the two of us have never been.
That hasn't changed, by the way.
No, we're so funny. But Howard Stern, we were big fans of Howard Stern. Howard Stern, of course, is an incredible interviewer of musicians and all types of people. He's actually gotten a lot better over the years, I think.
Yeah.
But he's always been good. But the other thing about us, I think, is with the music and with Howard Stern, it's almost like an obsession with us, and we end up kind of having these mutual obsessions over these things. Like Ozzy Osbourne was a huge part of our high school days, just listening to his music, and just I had an Ozzy Osbourne freaking you might say a doll, but it wasn't a doll. It's a figure.
It was an action figure. Come on. It was an action figure. Yeah.
But all that stuff, our obsessions went like the X-Files as well. We had a lot of stuff like that, but music and Howard Stern and all that combined, and we thought we were hilarious. And so we always thought we should have a radio show. Well, we never got a radio show, but now anybody can have a radio show, and they call it a podcast. So that's what we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. And something else with music is, in our college days, I discovered this band Bowling for Soup, and it really was like a life-changing experience for us because, it's my favorite band by far. I've seen
they are the greatest rock band in the world.
Right. And they were the third greatest rock band, but they moved up.
They did. They got a promotion.
Yeah. We've been since really over 20 years, we've been a fan of this band. And, we travel all over the state going to see him in college. I mean, we would, see him, and I went to North Texas, so I was located in the Metroplex, and so we saw, and they were actually located in the Metroplex too, in Denton, which is where I went to school. So they were always playing in Denton, Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington. Then they would go to like San Antonio or San Angelo or Austin area, and then Jason, you'd come along and we'd beat up. And
yeah, we've seen him from one side of the state to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were there when no one else was there.
Yeah,
like we were there hanging out with them before and after the shows, sitting on the side of the stage. I remember seeing him at the Metro in Austin when there was probably 5 people there, and those were just people who stumbled in.
Yeah, a lot of $8 shows. Remember that? The tickets were $8. It was, I mean, it was awesome. Like they'd play for 2 hours, and we would hang out for 4 or 5 hours, but total before and after the show. So it was just like every weekend we did this, and that band has continued on, and they're into their 27th year, 28th year, and they're still putting out music, still touring and everything, and I think that's partially like what inspired you to get out there and play.
It did.
Right?
So I started a band when I was like 24, which I always thought that I was too old for music. So maybe that's just something, a part of my psyche, whatever. But even at 24, I thought I was too old to start doing it. But I did. I started a band, and we called it Last Call Casualty, which was the name of a Bowling for Soup song. We sort of stole the name and made it the name of our band. It was not really that similar to Bowling for Soup music, but we always aspired to have a live show that was half as good as theirs. So yeah, that inspired me to play. My songwriting these days has gone in a very different direction. Mm-hmm. I do more of a singer-songwriter, country type thing, but that's where my roots are, for sure.
And once again, speaking of Bowling for Soup, if you ask us, okay, so let's freaking do this. What does that mean? Where did that come from? That's actually a line from a Bowling for Soup song. There's a song called "Let's Go to the Pub." In it, the lead singer, his name's Jarrett Reddick. He says, "Let's freaking do this," and that part of the song has always stuck with me. And we started, like I said, we were talking about doing a podcast or a radio show forever. And then Jason, recently you brought this up in the last month or so. And the name is such a perfect name, I think, for our show, because it's got the Bowling for Soup tie, but it's also kind of a call to action. And it's also, it's like, why wait around and just let's freaking do this. It's like,
right.
Why procrastinate? Just go for it. And so I think it's a perfect name for our show. And so once again, thanks to Bowling for Soup for helping us out. And now, as far as what this podcast is going to be, Jason, you've met a lot of musicians recently. You've been playing all over the state with people, and really it's coming from you. What is this podcast going to be?
So what I want to do is have folks on here that we admire, that we respect, and some of them we'll know, some of them we probably won't know that well. And it's not gonna be specific to any genre. We're just gonna find folks that we really want to talk to and get more, dig into their sort of influences, their backgrounds, their ideas of how they come up with the songs that they come up with. I think the idea mostly is going to be in musicians who do original music. And we're just gonna have conversations. They're gonna play some tunes for us if they want to. I know that we'll get some of them to do it, and some of them may not want to. But it's just gonna be a conversation, kind of a organic, fluid conversation where we're just hanging out and talking to people and getting to know more about them, giving them a chance to explain themselves, explain their art if they want to, or just talk about their art and their background. And I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we're going to have live performances, like you said, interviews, live performances. I think album reviews will be a fun thing to do. We're going to go back and look at some Bowling for Soup albums, of course. Some of your albums. I mean, you've put out a lot of music the last couple of years, and maybe we can get some guests to join us and add their thoughts to classic albums, from bands, different genres and different types of music. So we're hoping it's just a good time all around. And to watch our show, right? We're going to be broadcasting each show live on YouTube. So find us on YouTube. Let's freaking do this. Or you can also listen to our episodes later on podcast services like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And actually, on Spotify now, there's an option to watch the podcast also. So please do that if you find us on Spotify. And
if Joe Rogan can do it, so can we.
Exactly. If some little podcaster like Joe Rogan,
some little
can do
guy
that,
like that, yeah,
we certainly can too. But whatever platform you end up listening to us on, we appreciate it, and we'd ask you please subscribe to the show, please rate the show, and please review the show. Those things really help out podcasters. It really gets that algorithm going, and it'll spread this to other people, and the more the merrier. So, and speaking of that same mentality on social media, currently we're on Twitter right now. You can follow us. Please follow us on Twitter. We're at LFDT Pod. So let's freaking do this was too long for the handle. So it's LFDT Pod. Please give us a follow. You can find out more information of, upcoming shows. And, also we're going to be promoting the artists who are on here. So we're going to be letting you know if you like the episode that we just played where we interviewed someone, we're going to tell you where you can see that person next. So follow us on Twitter. Probably on other social media platforms soon also. Jason, is there anything else you wanted to say before we get out of here?
No, I guess the only thing else I would say is if you have somebody you want to see on this show, and you have a connection with them, that tell them, send them our way, or send us their way, and we can hook up with them and get them on as soon as we can.
Yeah. So thanks for listening to this or watching this, and we hope you enjoy the show.